Okay, so now we are going to look at this worksheet on participial adjectives. So for the first exercise, you have to complete the sentences, and some of the words you are familiar with, but others might be a little difficult. But just try your best. And if you don't know the words, you can. You don't have to complete them, but just do your best. So some of the words are, or all of the words are already started for you. As you can see, the first couple of letters are already there. So that should be a good hint. So go ahead and complete this activity. You can pause the video and continue when you're finished. Okay, so let's look at number 2. We can say disappointed because the job did not pay well. Okay, and then maybe some of you might have put discouraged, but if you look carefully, the number of blanks doesn't match. So you make sure you use disappointed. Okay, and then number 3, the stories were not funny and we were bored. Okay, and then whoops, let me move that a little bit up higher. Okay, number 4, the work was too difficult and we felt frustrated. Okay, and then number 5, the storm was dangerous and I was frightened. Okay, and then the last one, the computers could do amazing things and we were fascinated. Okay, this might be a new word for you, but it just means amazed. Okay, so if you notice, all of these words are ed words. They all end in ed, so they all describe the feelings of people. So here you can see we were bored, we felt frustrated, I was frightened, and we were fascinated. Okay, so let's move on to exercise B. It says complete the story. Use the correct adjective form of the words in the box. So you have to change these words or add ed or ing to complete this story. Okay, so go ahead and do this as well. We'll give you some time, or of course you can pause the video and continue when you are finished. Okay, so let's look at this story. Okay, last weekend, my coworkers and I had special training. I thought it was going to be interesting, but very tiring. Okay, and this is a hint that the first one is positive, but the second one should be negative. But, okay, so interesting, but very tiring. Okay, on Saturday afternoon, I felt like going to sleep in the meetings because they were so boring. Okay, and again, this is talking about the meetings, so we need to add ing. Okay, and then the teacher was irritated. Okay, irritated means annoyed, okay, or upset. So the teacher was irritated because we didn't ask many questions. At the end of the day, there was a party. The party was much more exciting than the meetings, but I didn't eat much because the food was disappointing. So I was talking about the food, which is a thing, so disappointing. And then we danced and talked a lot at the party, and at the end of the night we were, so it's talking about we, so we have to say exhausted. Oh, the spelling isn't correct. Okay, exhausted. Okay, and then everyone was amused when we came back to work on Monday and told our stories. Okay, because see, it seems there were some good things and some bad things, so everyone was amused. Okay, amused is similar to a word, the feeling of laughing when something's funny, or when something is interesting or humorous. Then we use the word amused. Okay, now we are going to actually, we're not going to do that one for now. We're going to look at this worksheet. Okay, so you'll see 16 questions using some of the words that we learned, like exhausted, relaxed, frustrating, irritated, frightening, okay, amusing. So take some time to ask some of these questions to yourself or to someone in your family, or have them ask you, and practice. And try to practice verbally out loud, because it gets us into the habit of saying these phrases. I'm interested, or it was interesting. Okay, it's helpful to practice out loud. So you can take as much time as you need, of course. So pause the video, and when you're finished, you can return to the video. And you don't have to do everything. You don't have to do all the questions. You can just pick some and do some others later if you want. Okay, so go ahead. Okay, so now we are going to look at our textbook again and move on to Lesson D, reading. Okay, so let's take a look at the first activity before you read. So it says, what are some skills, such as following directions, that are necessary for most jobs? Okay, so regardless of the kind of job, like whether it's a technical job, or whether it's like a kind of job that requires higher education, or an office job, or whatever it may be. What are some skills that are necessary for most jobs, for almost all jobs? Okay, so think about that. And then number 2, what special skills do you have? Okay, so you can discuss these things, think about these things, and after that we will continue. So take some time. You can pause the video and continue when you're finished. Okay, so you might say that getting along with people, or we might call them people skills. People skills are necessary for most jobs, okay? Because pretty much every job requires working together with people. There are very few jobs where you actually work alone, just by yourself, and never interact with anybody. Even if you have your own company, you need to interact with people, whether it's online or when you make a sale or buy things. So pretty much any job requires people skills. You might also say math skills. We need to know basic math skills. So you could say basic math skills are necessary for most jobs. And we might say that language skills, so communication skills, actually. Communication skills are also necessary for most jobs. Okay, and then number 2, we're going to skip that one, but let's go ahead and look at the magazine article. Let me zoom in one more time from here. Okay, so you can follow along in your book, but I'm going to go ahead and play the audio.
Page 102. Exercise 2.
Hard and soft job skills. Sam Sarawang has been working as an automotive technician at George's Auto Repair for over 5 years. Today was a special day for Sam, a 35-year-old Thai immigrant, because he received the Employee of the Year award. According to Ed Overton, Sam's boss, Sam received the award because he's a great people person and he has superb technical skills. I even have him work on my own car. Sam has the 2 kinds of skills that are necessary to be successful and move up in his career: soft skills and hard skills. Soft skills are personal and social skills. Sam gets along with his coworkers. He has a strong work ethic. In 5 years, he has never been late or absent from work. Customers trust him. Hard skills, on the other hand, are the technical skills a person needs to do a job. Sam can repair cars, trucks, and motorcycles. He learned from his father, who was also a mechanic. Then he took classes and got a certificate as an auto technician. Soft and hard skills are equally important, but hard skills are easier to teach and assess than soft skills. People can learn how to use a machine and then take a test on their knowledge. However, it's harder to teach people how to be cooperative and have a good work ethic. George Griffith, the owner of George's Auto Repair, explains, "I've been working in this business for over 30 years, and most of the time when I've needed to fire someone, it was because of weak people skills, not because they didn't have technical abilities." Soft skills and good technical knowledge are a winning combination. And today, Sam Sarawang was the winner.
Okay, so let's go back to our book. And on the next page, you'll see exercise 3A, check your understanding. Take some time to answer these 7 questions. And whenever possible, I want you to use a complete sentence. So make complete sentences. As you know, this lesson is always our academic lesson along with our writing lesson. So it's good to practice complete sentences and restating questions. So go ahead and take some time to do these questions, and you can pause the video and continue when you're finished. Okay, so let's look at number 1. What is the main idea of this article? Okay, so we can actually use this last sentence because this article is about hard and soft job skills, but it's also about Sam Sarawang. So we can say soft skills and hard skills, or we can say good technical knowledge, just like in the sentence, are a winning combination, and today Sam Sarawang was the winner. That's fine if you want to use this. And you can also say soft skills and hard skills are necessary or important to be successful and move up in your career, or in one's career, or in a career. Okay, so you can change some of the words a little bit. Okay, and then how does the quotation from Ed Overton support the main idea of the article? Now, if you look at this box here, it gives a note that says quotations are used to explain or support a main idea. They also make a reading more interesting. Okay, if we look at the quote, it's right here. So Sam's boss. How does his quotation support the main idea of the article? So we might say Sam's boss, or Ed Overton says that Sam has both the soft skills and hard skills necessary to be successful in his career. So we can restate the main idea, and we can also summarize Ed's quote. So we can say that Ed, or you can also just say Ed believes that Sam has superb technical skills and is a great people person. I did that backwards, but anyway, so you know what, you can just use this sentence. So Ed Overton says that Sam is a great people person and has superb technical skills. So he has both soft skills and hard skills. So there are various ways you can word that sentence. It can be a little different from what I said as well. Okay, and then number 3, what is the difference between a soft skill and a hard skill? Okay, give examples from the article. So if you look here, you can see that soft skills are personal and social skills. Okay, for example, Sam gets along with his coworkers. Okay, and then we can say hard skills are the technical skills a person needs to do a job. So, for example, Sam can repair cars, trucks, and motorcycles. Okay, and there are other examples as well. And then number 4, what are 3 examples of Sam's soft skills? So if we go back to this section, we can say Sam gets along with his coworkers, he has a strong work ethic, and customers trust him. Okay, and then actually, I'm going to do number 6 first. So, which example shows that Sam has a good work ethic? Okay, so it's back in the same paragraph here. So from the 3 examples, if we look at the second example, it says he has a strong work ethic, and then the example is right here. In 5 years, he has never been late or absent from work. Okay, so that's the example. In 5 years, he has never been late or absent from work. Okay, and now let's go back to number 5. According to the article, why are hard skills easier to evaluate than soft skills? So evaluate and assess mean the same thing. So we can say, people can learn how to use a machine and then take a test on their knowledge. However, it's harder to teach people how to be cooperative and have a good work ethic. Okay, so this is the answer for number 5. Then let's jump to number 7. According to George Griffith, do more workers lose their jobs because of weak soft skills or weak hard skills? Do you agree with George? Why or why not? So according to George Griffith, more workers lose their jobs because of weak soft skills, and according to him, he says weak people skills, okay, which is the same thing. And do you agree? And of course, this is up to you. It's your opinion. You might say, yes, I agree, and then give the same reason as number 5. You can say because it's easier to assess hard skills and harder to assess soft skills. And then maybe you don't agree. Maybe you might say you can learn people skills from a young age and from any setting. So you can learn people skills anywhere, and actually you need people skills for every job. They are the kind of skills that can be spread or can be applicable, can be applied to any job. But hard skills are very specialized. So you might say that hard skills are more difficult to come by, meaning it's harder to find workers who have those skills. So maybe, well, actually, but then it makes sense that fewer workers would lose their jobs if they are very skilled. So again, that proves that soft skills or workers are more likely to lose their jobs because of soft skills, not because they can't do something, do some kind of skill, because those are learnable. Okay, quick note here, we can read this culture note, but the expression work ethic is the belief that if you work hard in life, you will get ahead and become successful. Okay, so that when we say someone has a good work ethic, it means they're a hard worker and they are diligent, they show up on time, and they don't, cheat their employer, they don't cheat their coworkers. So it generally means a hard worker and reliable worker. Okay. So moving on to exercise B, build your vocabulary. So we're going to study prefixes and roots in this exercise. And a root word is the basic form of a word. So if you just quickly glance at this chart, you can see 3 root words, tech, super, and equa or EQ. We can add a prefix or a suffix to root words, and prefixes come at the beginning. You add them at the beginning of the word, at the front of the word, and suffixes you add at the end of the word. And for this lesson, we're just going to look at prefixes. So it says to find an example in the reading of each prefix and root, okay, and write it in the chart, and then use a dictionary and write the meaning of the words. And then guess the meaning of the prefixes and roots in the chart. So let's look at the first example. The prefix is re. You might already be familiar with this one because it's a very common one. And the example from the reading is repair. and the meaning is to fix what is torn or broken. So this is the dictionary definition. And then you can guess the meaning, which is again. So there are so many words, like redo means to do again. Recycle means to put into the usage cycle again. So the process of usage. So recycle. And reuse means to use again. So there are many, many words with re. So go ahead and complete this chart and look for words that start with these prefixes and also words that contain these roots. And write the example here in the second column. Then write the dictionary definition in this third column, and then guess the meaning of the prefix or root in this last column. So when you're finished, you can go to part 3 of the video lesson, part 3.